be super fun, and we're all gonna dance. But first you need a dress, or if you wear pants, or if you wear a suit, you can just dance. It's time to dance.
Nice.
Yay!
For a second, I thought you were doing the Sesame Street theme song with lyrics about the prom.
Oh.
But then it got into a place where I was like, oh yes, I do remember this song. Okay.
Sesame Street, famously saved by Netflix, everyone.
Saved by Netflix.
Thank God.
We did
Thank
it.
God. From
did it.
HBO, from Max.
From Max to Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Showgays, the Cinema Musical podcast, where we are again, we've said it before, we'll say it again, we're the only podcast you ever need to listen to. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, we cover everything.
We cover it all.
Yep.
Today what we're covering is 2020's The Prom. A little Ryan
2020?
Murphy joint.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that. As always, your hosts here, since you can't see us, I'm Adam.
I'm RJ.
I'm Molly. I'm sorry, I was checking the mailbag.
And that's the three of us. RJ, while she checks the mailbag, how are you doing?
I'm doing it good. I'm a little hustling and bustling, running around all over the damn city. I'm directing a play that's opening this weekend.
Yay.
So they're running a final tech tonight. Because I had a different rehearsal for a second story show right before this. I was like, can you guys just run? We did Q to Q. We finished all of Q to Q yesterday. A whopping 25 Qs. Thank you very much. Okay. That I was like, you guys we just need to run it. And they were like, got it. So they're doing that tonight. We have invited dress tomorrow, and then we open on Friday. Very excited.
Nice.
Well, Molly, how are you?
Molly, how are you?
I'm good. It's going to be camp soon. Boo. So just prepping for that, but we'll make it through.
Did you get some sun? You look like sun-kissed.
Oh no, don't tell Andrew that. He's always telling me I need to wear more SPF. I think that it's just that the sun is setting. And so there's like a lot of direct sunlight.
Is that what's on the wall next to you is the sun?
Yes.
This strip of light.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful bounce board.
It is. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of sun here. That's some news about Southern California for you.
Yeah, I've heard that's a thing.
Yeah.
Adam, how about, I feel like no one ever asks you, Adam, how are you?
I was just saying, we just went to Florida for a few days this past weekend. And
the entire time, Adam and I kept being like, I don't know how we lived here.
I don't know how we lived here.
Really?
The thing I'm like shocked by is that I did not come back with a sunburn. I think it's like the first time ever.
He was diligently shellacking.
Where I did parks multiple days in a row.
Industry grade 50 SPF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice for you. Anyway, the prom.
Is there anything?
Star Wars, the prom.
Star Wars : the prom, episode 10. Is there anything
we
in the
do
mailbag?
have some emails. We have one from Lucas apologizing for recommending this. Lucas says, I audibly gagged.
Apologies for recommending the prom?
Yeah.
Oh.
I audibly gagged when you said you were watching The Prom next. Wow, it's a pandemic era, mid-century gay man's fever dream come to life. I almost regret recommending it now, and I hope I'm not the only one who let you down this rainbow highway. Have fun, be camp, and be proud. Also, just to be factual, Molly said Glee was a stain on the national consciousness in your cabaret episode from 2022. Look how far we've come. I hope Meryl can be redeemed in Molly's eyes. Oh, we will comment on that. I don't know what fact check we're doing with when I said stain on national consciousness. Was it whether or not I said that, or was it just when I said it?
Was it truly a stain?
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, yeah, it was.
I think he's saying that because you say it, it's now a fact that's what the collective, the fabric of the country has decided that it was a stain.
Yeah.
I was the one who asserted that it's the reason we got gay marriage.
Oh, so maybe that was, yeah. So I think what Lucas is saying, that I'm saying that gay marriage is a stain on the national consciousness because of Trump 2028. Yeah. They just reveal all of a sudden super conservative. Okay. And another from Lucas, our favorite writer. saying welcome back.
Move over, Keats. Lucas is here.
Yeah, he's here.
We quote Lucas the most now in every episode.
So this is some commentary on Sweet Charity. Sweet Charity is such a mixed bag for Fosse fans. I own the old DVD. I'm sorry you had to internet archive this shit. So I watched it repeatedly growing up. I'm also so gay. I saw Christina Applegate in her limited run at age redacted. And RJ is correct. Applegate injured herself severely and talked about it constantly. Yeah, my favorite song, Baby Dream Your Dream, sung by Nikki and Helene, was cut for the film, yet they added some stupid It's a Nice Face song and endless dance breaks in that I'm a brass band, I'm a harpsichord, I'm a clarinet, nonsensical musical theater number. I'm a broken record, but Fosse Verdon is a must-watch for you. Seriously, just watch the first 5 minutes of episode 1 for some major big spender backstory. That's all you need to see. I am intrigued by this.
Intrigued.
Also, If My Friends Could See Me Now is such a classic song. It was used in a recent jukebox cinemusical you should cover, Joker, Folie à Deux.
Oh, no. Lucas. Your lipstick on here.
I was playing this game with myself the other day where I could see into my neighbor's window, but from like quite far away, and I was trying to figure out what they were watching. And one of my theories was Joker, Folie à Deux. I'm not sure. I was like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, or the Joker. Those are my 3 options.
I'm sorry, we can't gloss over the fact that Molly was like, I was creeping through my neighbor's window the other day.
Like, oh, they're watching something.
It was nighttime.
What are we watching together, neighbors? What are the 3 of us watching?
It was nighttime. So I live on like a canyon. So they're on like the corner of the canyon from me. So they're like quite far from me. It's not like I'm looking directly into my neighbor's window, just to be clear.
I think it's worse the farther away it is. Somehow that makes it worse.
But I couldn't see the people. I could just see the screen. I feel like it was just the same thing as when you're on a plane and you watch the screen of the person in front of you.
Oh my God. Adam was watching
I was watching a very spicy BL.
A vampire BL.
And I had to like
cradling it on
my iPad like this.
And the guy behind us, he was like a dad. My something that I had fell down, and so he like tapped Adam, and Adam thought, "Oh my God, this homophobe is about to kill me." I thought
he was about to like shoot me on the plane.
Yeah, like stop watching like gay shit.
Yeah, no, he thought he was real Kerry Washington.
Yeah,
yeah.
See,
speaking of homophobia,
and sprinkling in for the coming episode. Anyway, Lucas says, "I'm just kidding. Don't cover it." In talking about Joker, Folie à Deux. I walked out after Gaga's last scene and missed the end. Iconic to be like, Gaga's not in it anymore. I'm not.
Gaga's done. Gaga's screen time is done. Okay, bye.
Bye.
However, there is a Gwen Verdon cameo in the opening short by French animator Sylvain Chomet, the Triplets of Belleville fame. Adam was on point with the Honora joke since Knights of Cabiria, is that right? Was a major influence on Sean Barker and this musical. Finally, I just have to say that the Academy Award-winning Honora is just as slow, boring, and depressing as Sweet Charity, but also kind of homophobic. Oh, interesting. I've never seen Honora. And I'd rather suffer through Rich Man's Frug and the long elevator scene any damn day. Demi Moore was robbed. I'm assuming for the substance.
Yes.
Lucas is just really making sure that we believe he's a gay man.
Yes.
You have to convince us.
We
believe it.
We got it. And I can't believe, Lucas, that you called the elevator scene.
He screamed as a purse fell out of his mouth.
I can't believe that Lucas called the elevator scene long when I said that it had my favorite line in the whole movie. So
I don't think Lucas ever likes your takes, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's funny that you would say that as somebody
team
who.
Adam.
Yeah. I feel like our whole dynamic is having opposite takes, so I can see that you like Lucas.
Adam, any updates on if people think that our podcast is the full movie or no?
We got another one that was like, don't bother clicking on. First of all, nobody's going to see your comment. They've already clicked on it. If they see your comment, they've clicked on the video. You don't have to be like, don't bother clicking on this because they've already done that.
That would be amazing if you could leave proactive comments on YouTube videos where it was like it popped up before you opened it. Before you could be like, here are my thoughts on this before you get into it.
You should look and see are you looking for what the view count is on Miss Bride and Prejudice?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because it's probably a movie that's hard to find. And so people are.
No, we just think there's
I think we've told Molly.
Our most viewed video on the entire Ampliverse channel.
Ampliverse.
is the Bride and Prejudice episode with 53,000 views.
We have to talk about the prom. Speaking of gay marriage.
Let's do it.
Speaking of gay people, let's talk about the prom. So, the prom, Molly, this week you are challenged to summarize the prom, which is the 2020 Ryan Murphy Netflix masterpiece in a minute or less. And your time starts now.
Mrs. Green, the head of the James Madison High School PTA in Edgewater, Indiana, has announced that the school prom is canceled to prevent Emma Nolan from bringing a same-sex date. The Broadway stars Dee Dee Allen and Barry Glick are panned in the reviews of their most recent show, and so decide, alongside the actor/bartender Trent Oliver and perpetual chorus girl Angie Dickinson, to get some positive press by saving Emma. The clueless attempted activist pulls some entirely self-centered stunts, including crashing the PTA meeting and performing a musical number at a monster truck rally. Emma and her musical-loving but straight principal Tom Hawkins win a legal case that mandates the prom happen with Emma and her date included. We learn that Emma's date is her closeted girlfriend and daughter of the PTA president, Alyssa Green. While helping Emma prepare for prom, the Broadway stars get to know her and become truly invested in helping her. Barry reveals that he, like Emma, was rejected by his parents when he came out at 16. Everyone is shocked when they learn that the school threw 2 proms, one at the school for just Emma and one off-site for everyone else. Emma is distraught at the humiliation, but particularly that Alyssa will not leave the prom to be with her. The stars convince Emma to tell her story, including by booking her a talk show appearance, but she chooses to instead spread her story through a viral song and an invitation to teens everywhere to attend an inclusive prom. The stars fund another prom, Dee Dee somewhat reluctantly, and they are thrilled with the turnout. Alyssa comes out to her mom, who's eventually accepting. Barry's mom comes to apologize for how she reacted to his coming out, and Dee Dee and Principal Hawkins fall in love.
That was a minute and a half. Great job.
I knew it was going to be too long, but I had to weave in some of those other plot threads.
There's so many things. It's such a complicated film.
It's really not. I'm sorry. I feel like sometimes the less complicated it is, the harder it can be to summarize for some reason.
Yeah.
A prom is thrown for gay girl. That's what happened. I
just feel like, because I think also with the more classic ones, I kind of assume people actually have a sense of the plot already. But this one, I'm assuming people are probably going in fully blind.
I mean, it's nice to even mention Angie Dickinson as a character because she's worthless as a character. Like she has no.
I loved her. Oh my god. I'm excited to talk about this.
She's great, okay. But she's great. Why is it?
She's played by Nicole Kidman. You can't not mention Nicole Kidman in this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Molly, what's your history with Miss Prom? Or your own prom. Feel free to tell your own little prom story while we're here. I'm going to tell you my story of my prom. I don't know. I went to prom. Here's what I think is actually really funny about anything about like allowing you to bring your date to a prom. I went to an all-girls school. So like, I don't even understand the mechanism for somebody like checking that someone is your date. Like there was never like a check-in of being like, and this person is my date. Like we all just went together to prom. I can tell you exactly how and why this is a plot point because my school had the exact same thing, but we'll get to it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So my point is like people went stag, people went with a group, people went whatever to prom. And you just like, people did invite also dates, but it just didn't, I feel like even though I went to a very conservative Catholic school, you could have brought a same-sex date because nobody would have been able to tell that that's what you were doing. I don't know. I went to prom. It was fun. I don't really have any stories about it. This musical, I heard it was coming out. I thought it looked terrible and I didn't watch it. And then I watched it for this. And should I say my opinion or should we wait? I liked it more than I thought I would.
I had the same reaction.
I had the same reaction.
I didn't love it.
I didn't love it.
But I didn't.
I had a good time. Yeah. I had a fun time.
I had a nice, pleasant plane experience.
Yeah.
RJ?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the show. I remember it coming up. I saw it happen, but I just was not interested at the time. I don't know why, but I was just like, oh, that's happening. I just knew that in the original Broadway, Beth Level was Dee Dee. And so that was kind of really the only thing I knew. And then when they announced that Netflix was doing it, I was just like, oh, okay, cool. But didn't.
And what about your prom? What about your senior prom, RJ?
My senior prom?
Which lucky gal got to go with you?
I went with my friend Amber. She
on Tussle?
Yeah. She and I competed together in speech and debate. So we were both drama girlies. And it was it was just purely like, let's like go together. It was more like because she wasn't at the school that I go to, it was like, do you want to come to like our school's prom? So it was kind of like that. Yeah, that was that.
Great. Yeah. I went to prom with my boyfriend at the time, whose name was Eric. We wore blue and yellow, and we had like coordinating vests and ties. It was very cute. I don't remember. I technically went to multiple proms because I had a junior prom. I went to prom sophomore year because I had a boyfriend at the time who was a senior. So I went to prom sophomore year, junior year, senior year. And then when Eric was a senior in his high school, because he was a year behind me, I came back from college and went with him to his prom. So I went to prom 4 times.
Yeah.
It's some kind of a big deal.
We also, because like the boys' school had military ball, which is like their prom. So I went to like multiple because we had like junior and senior. And then also like you would go to the boys' school prom. And it was, a lot of dances.
Lots of dances. The movie, pretty much the same. I didn't remember anything from the show on Broadway. And when I realized how long it ran, then I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then the movie came out and I didn't watch it because I was like, this seems, I think we were all at this point, we were very all in an anti-James Corden kind of space. Yeah. And so I think that, and you know what? Boy, will we be talking about James Corden today. I'll tell you what, he will definitely be coming up. But I just didn't watch it. But it was good. Just good. Yeah. So let's talk about the history. So this is an original concept that is inspired by true events, specifically the 2010 Itawamba County School District Prom controversy. That is the title of the Wikipedia article, if you want to go look it up. Okay. Here are the quick facts about the 2010 Itawamba County School District Prom controversy. In 2010, Constance McMillan, who was a lesbian in high school in Fulton, Mississippi.
2010, that's our
senior year.
Oh, yeah.
I think she was a junior because she ended up transferring to another school. So I think she ends up graduating in 2011 is my guess, but I didn't check to be sure. She's either junior or senior. She asks in December of 2009, the school principal, if she's allowed to bring her girlfriend to prom. And the principal says no. And we had the same rule. So the reason, like, you could buy couples tickets to prom or you could buy single tickets to prom. And if you bought a couple ticket, it was less than if you bought 2 singles tickets to promote people going as couples.
Because we really want to make sure that teenagers are coupling up. Like, what a weird incentive.
I don't know. But that was like the same thing in our high school too. So it was like $60 or like, no, I think it was like $50 for a couples ticket and then like $30 each for singles tickets.
Wow. Okay.
So because of this, the rule was you couldn't bring a friend. Like you couldn't be a same sex because you weren't supposed to bring friends because they wanted to get the money out of like whatever. It's all very stupid when you think about it. But we had the same rule.
Yeah, I also brought a friend to my prom. I brought a boy, but it was somebody I was just friends with. So like in this rule, I would have broken but I would have been allowed because he was a boy. Yeah.
Because I think like my sophomore year for midwinter, we had the same rule. And the prom my sophomore year that I went to, I didn't go with my boyfriend at the time. I went with his friend who was a girl because she had to like put my name down and it had to be opposite gender. Yeah. So like we still went as a group and everything and it was fine. Yeah. But like, it's very weird.
It's very weird.
So, yes. So that was the reasoning from the beginning. She still ends up inviting her girlfriend. In March, the school board shuts down the prom, and due to her trying to get a ticket and being told no. Okay. And then on March 10th, the ACLU filed a free speech lawsuit on her behalf. So First Amendment girlies. Rita. ACLU, Rita. Rita's not doing ACLU, honey. And then on March 23rd, a judge rules in favor of the plaintiffs, but does not rule that the school board should reinstate the prom because by this point, a private prom had already been scheduled. So then the private prom ends up being canceled due to parents who were funding it not wanting to be sued for not selling her the tickets, even though it was a private event. So they canceled the prom. It was like March 30th. And then the next day, the new prom was planned and like announced in the town paper that it was going to happen at the Fulton Country Club. And when that date arrives, Constance McMillan, her girlfriend, and 5 other students, 2 of whom had learning disabilities, all attended that prom. And there was a second prom held in a separate town that was like a private event. So this is like all real, which is insane. It's like gross. Cause like in the movie, you're like, God, that would be so horrible if that truly happened. But luckily it's a movie and this has never happened. And then you're like, oh God. So a separate prom was held in the community of Evergreen. And although publicly students who attended had stories of saying, oh, it was just a birthday party, or, oh, it was just a private little party we had, Facebook posts and albums referred to the event as prom. So obviously they were all thinking about it as prom.
For younger listeners, there was a time when high schoolers used Facebook.
Yes. And albums were a big part of that experience.
Oh, yeah. There was nowhere else to put.
You take your digital camera, you take all of your photos, and then you just batch upload them all in one time.
Oh my God. What you named that photo album was the entire encapsulation of your identity in that week.
Exactly. You tag every single person in every single photo. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. So later, McMillan ends up transferring out of the school to a high school in Jackson, Mississippi, due to the controversy and the students blaming her for the events around the prom. And then in July, the school district settles out of court, paying $35,000 to Constance McMillan. And then on the celebrity side of things, this like kind of blew up. Dan Savage talked about it on his Sex Advice podcast. She went on the Ellen show and was gifted a $30,000 scholarship. Wanda Sykes was winning a GLAAD award, I think, that year or something like that. And you can apparently at the GLAAD Awards, the winner of the best gay of the year award, whatever, whoever that is, they get to pick whoever presents them with the award. So Wanda Sykes reached out to Constance and Constance present her the award. Okay. Perez Hilton invited her to his birthday party and like on his dime, like he flew her out. Yeah. Wow. And then Lance Bass, she ended up like meeting with Lance Bass to do like this documentary about gay people in Mississippi, because Lance Bass is famously from Mississippi. And then she was also the grand marshal of the 2010 New York City Pride March. Wow. So she had a real experience with this whole situation.
What a who's who of the 2010s celebrity
queer landscape.
And sorry, young listeners, this is when we still liked Ellen. Big Ellen. We were still in big Ellen culture at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. We were all watching her, videos of her staff going into haunted houses. Mm-hmm. We were all laughing at all of those compilations.
Yeah. She was having on What Are Those?
Yeah.
What was the guy with the shoes? There was like a vine of like
the Vans.
Do you know? Yeah.
Back at it again with the white Vans.
Back at it again with the white Vans. Yeah. They had him she had on the hot Target.
She would always pick out the viral moments.
Yeah. And by she, we just mean her producers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the backstory. So then the prom is music and lyrics are by Matthew Sklar and Chad Bagulin. The book is by, who also did, by the way, they had made The Wedding Singer and Elf at this point, the musicals. The book is by Bob Martin and also Chad Bagulin. Bob Martin had done the book had co-written the book for The Drowsy Chaperone, and he was also the man in chair in that original cast.
Oh, okay.
And
now
then
I'm getting the gay sensibilities of this.
Yes, I do think the book is the strongest part of this whole thing. But it premiered in Atlanta originally in 2016 at the Alliance Theater for about a 6-week run. And then it moved to Broadway in 2018, was only open for a year, and then had a 2021 US tour and a 2022 Mexico City run. And
Prom.
At the Tonys, it was nominated for a bunch of stuff and didn't win anything. Best Direction of a Musical, Best Leading Actress for both Beth Level and Caitlin Cannoonan, who played Emma. Best Leading Actor in a Musical for Brooks Ashmanskas, who plays Barry. Best Original Score, Best Book of a Musical, and Best Musical, but again, did not win any of them. And then the general criticism of the show on Broadway was that it has a very uneven second act, but it's very funny overall. The book is pretty good. A lot of positive reviews, middling to positive. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like anyone's favorite show, but they were like, it's good, it's sweet, it's an original concept, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to also point out this timeline that this debuts in Atlanta in 2016. So this is where Trump has not won the presidency. Mm-hmm. And then it opens on Broadway in 2018, kind of post the Me Too wave. I just think there's a lot of things that happen between probably when this was like originally developed, obviously, even, and then like when it gets to Broadway, and then obviously even when it gets to become a film. So, because it feels, even though this movie comes out in 2020, it feels like an Obama era show. Mm-hmm. And so when I was looking at the timeline, I was like, The idea that you could just go to a mall and be like, the Bible says a bunch of things that you don't follow. And they're like, you're right, Diva.
We're gonna have to talk about that scene. We're gonna talk about it. It does in the year of our Lord 2025. It feels like such a small potatoes issue. Like it just is so.
Yes. Yeah.
Not the thing that we need to be worried about right now. You know.
Yeah. So the Prom, the film, it's directed by Ryan Murphy, creator of Glee, creator of Nip Tuck, creator of Pose,
creator of the Stays of
American Horror Story, creator of Feud, creator of American Crime Story. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty much all the big ones. What was that Nene Leakes show? The new normal, creator of The New Normal.
With Andrew Reynolds.
Creator of Hollywood, which was that Patti LuPone show on Netflix. Okay. Screenplay by Bob Martin and Chad Bagulin. So it's the same book writing team. Produced by Ryan Murphy, Alexis Martin Woodall, Adam Anders, Dory Berenstein, and Bill Damashka. Stars Meryl Streep as Dee Dee Allen, James Corden as Barry Glickman, Nicole Kidman as Angie Dickinson, Keegan-Michael Key as the principal Mr. Hawkins, Andrew Rannells as Trent Oliver, Joe Ellen Pellman, the newbie as Emma, Ariana DeBose plays Alyssa Green, Tracy Ullman is Mrs. Glickman, Barry's mother, Kevin Chamberlain plays I missed that one.
Harold? The agent?
The agent. I didn't write his character name down. I missed that one. Mary Kay Place plays Grandma B, who is Emma's grandma, and Kerry Washington plays Mrs. Green, the head of the PTA. Cinematography is by Matthew Libatique. It is edited by Peggy Tudjian and Danielle Wang. Music is by Matthew Sklar and David Klotz. Production company is Ryan Murphy Productions, distributed by Netflix. It was released on December 11th, 2020. It is 131 minutes. And the box office says it made $187,000, but it was released in like just a couple theaters, the way Netflix does, just to like qualify for awards. But it was just released on Netflix, so we don't have any actual facts about that. Mm-hmm. Allegedly, it was like the second most watched thing on Netflix in the first week of its release, and then dropped to number 10.
Okay.
But also, I don't even know if those numbers are made up. Yeah. Those are all made up. Ariana Grande was initially cast as Alyssa.
Interesting.
Wow.
And she was also supposed to produce the soundtrack, but ended up having to drop out due to the Sweetener tour conflicting with the production. Awkwafina was originally cast to be the manager, the agent.
That feels more of like a Hollywood agent move than like a Broadway producing agent.
Yeah.
And she ended up dropping out for we don't know why. And so that's when they brought in Kevin Chamberlain. And then filming began on December 11th, 2019, and it was suspended on March 12th, 2020. But only 2 days were left of shooting that resumed in July, and it was only second unit stuff. So none of the leads. So it wasn't anything too crazy, but they did technically get suspended.
Wow. Yeah. They almost made it.
At the Golden Globes, I don't remember. Was this the Golden Globes where we canceled them, or were they still going? Or I don't remember. Was it which? I don't know.
It was one of the pandemic ones, I think.
Well, there was one that was like they didn't have the Golden Globes.
It was the one that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. It was the one where MJ Rodriguez won for Pose.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah,
because they just awarded her, I think.
So this was nominated for Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, and Best Actor in a Motion Picture Musical or Comedy was nominated for James Corden. So his performance was so delectable to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association that they nominated him for this award, this performance. So with all of that background established, let's talk about the prom.
And
why the fuck is James Corden in this movie?
Okay. Wait. So I think that at the beginning of this movie, this is a good use of your corden. I think that this is the kind of role in some parts of it that is very good for him. Hammy, comedic,
big performance.
Big performance.
Big,
you know?
Big. Yep.
Where I think we lose this, and I suspect you agree with me, is that James Corden is known for being a very flamboyant, straight man. And this is a story about a man ultimately reckoning with the trauma of how he was treated during his coming out. And that's not an experience that James Corden has dealt with. And I think that is where you say, of all the actors, why would we pick the one straight man that would be appropriate in the role otherwise?
Yeah, the problem, I mean, genuinely, I think it's like, I think my issue with it definitely the issue is for sure that he has to like go through this like trauma or whatever.
Which I didn't know was going to happen. I didn't know that's where this character was going to go.
When it started, I was like, okay, you know what? I like Corden in this role, whatever. He's gay. Like, that's fine. I didn't realize it was going to turn into like a real heartfelt plot line about that.
Yes. When he started using it, relating it to Emma and then having to go through it himself, because it's like, after Emma, I would say the next main storyline of like dealing with the trauma.
He's for sure the second lead.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know, because every time I looked at him, I was like, I'm watching you pretend. And I'm a person that like, I don't need obviously like someone who is that specific identity to portray that as a thing, but because it's so pointedly about that experience,
right?
That I was like, you could literally cast any other.
I don't even think it's that. I mean, it's so complicated because while I agree, I think like more people who are gay should be allowed to portray gay roles. And I think it can get exhausting when we like remark on how remarkable it is that a straight person was able to like be sad and gay or be witty and gay, like incredible that they can do that. I get frustrated, but I understand that there's not one reason why you cast someone, right? Like there's a multitude of factors. Okay. Right. My issue with this casting, and I think I started feeling frustrated from the beginning, is Andrew Rannells is right there. Let Andrew Rannells play the fucking role. And B, it's that all the actors are stereotypes of those performers, like those top stock Broadway performers. So we have the diva, we have the effeminate gay guy, we have the guy who won't shut the fuck up about Juilliard, about his like training, his classical training, and then we have
the chorus girl,
the bridesmaid, everlasting chorus girl.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be funny. My issue is like, it does a little bit. It makes sense why Ryan Murphy is tapped to direct this, because it has a lot of that Glee sensibility of like, we're taking the stereotypes, but we're like finessing them and seeing what else is there underneath, because obviously these are all people at the end of the day. The issue is like, he is like playing the stereotype and then has to, it's that they want him to play the joke of the stereotype, but then also have the heartwarming experience. And I was like, if he was just playing the stereotype, I could be like, fine. But it's that they want him to do both, that I'm like, well, you can't. That's not how this, I didn't agree to this. Like, he can't make fun of the floppy gay guy, but then also be like, but he's got a heart of gold.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right. And that he's such a celebrity too, that like, that was I'm sure one of the selling points was him. And then I know that you could get like Neil Patrick Harris, and that like there are so many other choices that are gay men that could be
isn't 2000. Like there's so many out gay people in Hollywood now. Like
and also I mean you can still get the original, like you could get Harvey Fierstein to do this, who I would like, like the people who were kind of this stereotype and like made their career being kind of a big character like that in real life.
I mean, it doesn't work. This is post Cats. So there is definitely like, we're at this point when this comes out, we are in the full backlash to James Corden. Like it is
fatigue.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. It almost feels now like, oh, this is kind of like a redemption for him to be like, look, I am
in this.
If this is post Cats, do you know what I mean? Like casting James in this is like there's a redemption quality of him like coming.
I suspect that he got cast in this before Cats came out.
That's my theory. It was already kind of like in the works.
I don't think it was, because I think if we're trying to do a comeback, this is not because of the issues. Just put it out the role that England would pick.
No,
I could see James Corden having a comeback. He is away from me now, and so I'm ready for a little sprinkles with him again.
He's physically away from me.
Yeah, I was do a little hand pose with that, but like I think that at the time of Cats, I was like, he's everywhere with these like crosswalk musicals, blah blah blah, and now I'm finding him very grating in Cats, and there's too much of this man, and he needs to be a little sprinkle on top and not the full sundae, but it's not the role for redeeming because of this problematic element of us all being aware of the fact that he's like known for being a flamboyant straight man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's also a thing he's known for as part of the problem. If he just happened to be a straight man, maybe that would be a little bit less grating. I don't know.
We are on this is the fourth Meryl Streep movie that we've covered on this podcast.
Wow.
This is the fourth James Corden movie we've covered on this podcast. This is the second Nicole Kidman.
9 was the first one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Third, because Moulin Rouge.
Oh, right.
Moulin Rouge and 9.
Yeah.
And now
Many
this.
Keegan-Michael Key ones have we done?
I know.
I think he's at 5.
That's the crazy one.
I think he's like is the lead.
I've said this, but I think he is an unsung hero of the resurgence of musical theater in film and television.
I think he really likes musical theater.
Yeah. He loves it. I'm so here for it.
I think he's this character in real life.
Yeah, I know.
I think he wasn't acting. I think to finish this bit about Corden,
because you don't want to talk about him anymore. I really
don't want to talk about him anymore, but I'm sure I'll bring him up again. I just think that like my biggest issue, let's put aside the casting decision of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just don't think he's like there's not enough gay funny joy. There's not enough gay wit that's like light. Like it's all, everything is
feels performing. Like I can see him performing.
He has a lot of funny lines and he's very good at delivering comedy. I am not arguing that. I'm not an insane person. But I think there's a way where like, especially like I would, let me speak for myself. I feel like when I joke around with girls, I'm always trying to get them to like laugh and like giggle because I just like making women laugh. Like the only people I talk to are women. It's fine. But I feel like there's an element of like, he's never trying to like, it's the character that he's portraying is that kind of gay guy who always just does a bit to like make the people around him laugh, but it doesn't feel like that's part of his character story. Like he's just like saying the funny lines because they're coming to him off the cuff. It's not because he's like, like there should be a part for me that feels like there should be part of that element to that character. That
like reaching for the connection with another person, just reading their reaction.
Especially with like Emma. Because I don't know why she ends up saying like, you're the only person in the world I would want to take to prom at some point in this movie. And I'm like, you've had 3 conversations. And like, granted, like suspend the disbelief, right? They've had other conversations that I've not privy to, but like, I don't find him trying to like be charming enough with her because while yes, him and Dee Dee are both supposed to be characters that are narcissists, his turn is supposed to be much earlier than Dee Dee's. He's supposed to kind of realize it even before like, because Dee Dee has the moment when they realize that it's the wrong prom where she's like, this is bad for me and my publicity. So she's still on the like publicity train, but he's already started to be like, oh, I feel so I'm going to like cry. Yeah. Like he's already started to have that change of heart.
I do think Dee Dee's like starting to have the change of heart. It's just that he's kind of fully turned by then. To be, you think that it's totally still publicity for her when
I don't think it is, but I think she's
holding on to it more. It feels like as soon as he meets Emma, that he's already like, this is all about, I'm going to make your dream come true.
Like see the person. It feels like
it's when he finds out about her not being at home. That's when he like is like, oh, she's just like me. Yeah. Okay. But I never felt that connection of like they're like each other.
I want to take this opportunity to talk about the decision plot wise to have Emma have been kicked out when she came out.
Sure.
I want to make the case that I think it would be stronger dramaturgically if Emma's parents had maybe been not totally on board, but ultimately accepted her so that then her conflict with Alyssa could be a little bit more heightened of, oh, maybe Emma doesn't quite get what it's like to have a parent who like truly wouldn't accept it when you come out. Because I think that Alyssa just comes across as this like horribly selfish character, basically, because she's telling Emma, like, you don't understand how much pressure I'm under and how perfect I have to be and blah, blah, blah. And we see that, like, her mom's
literally been kicked out
a lot. But, like, Emma literally got kicked out when she came out to her parents. Like, Emma 100% understands this, knows the potential consequences, and, like, lived her life truly regardless of that. And I think it would be more interesting for Emma. Emma's kind of, like, a little too perfect, I feel like. It'd be more interesting for her if she was having trouble empathizing with Alyssa because she had a smoother coming out process.
I wish that they had made the visual characterization of Emma more butch. Because then I feel like then it gets less into the being like, oh, well, she just decided to come out, and more that it was like, it was painfully obvious that this is not the child you think she is. And so like, there's like an element. That was like my big thing. So the girl who plays Emma Jo, is that what her name? Emma Pell? Jo Ellen. So I actually really like this performance. She's really wonderfully charming in this. Yeah. And she is actually queer in real life, which is cool. And the original from the Broadway version is also queer. So I love that. Very happy that I guess Jo Ellen, she's queer, and her mom is gay. Like, her mom's a lesbian.
Wow.
Okay.
So she's like very, like, I guess she had her audition and told her little story or whatever. And Ryan was like, we don't have to audition any more people. This is the girl.
Yeah.
But I agree that there is, I mean, I think there's something I'm like, I still like am trying to like process through with the Kerry Washington of it all. Like, I think it's miscast. Like, I think Kerry Washington's good in this. I don't think she gives a bad performance, obviously. I don't think Kerry Washington has the ability to give a bad performance.
I don't think she can.
But I don't know why they made her black. I'm sorry. And I don't want to like be like, this is about race, but like, the head of the PTA in Indiana, anywhere in the state, is going to be a white woman or like someone who is white. Like, and I think maybe they were trying to not wade into those waters. And so they were like, anyone can be homophobic or whatever, but like, sure. But that's not, I don't know. I just felt like I was like, is it because they wanted, I was like, oh, it must be because they wanted there to be like an interracial couple in the middle. I don't know who I mean, I know the mom in the original one was white, the Mrs. Green in the Broadway version. But I think they just ended up, I mean, or they just wanted Ariana DeBose. Well, it was originally Ariana Grande, which is insane. But they probably, by the way,
they probably cast Alyssa before they cast Mrs. Green, is my guess.
They did.
I do think we should make sure that the listeners know that Adam did in fact grow up in Indiana. I think we forgot to include
Adam
that
does have
your prom.
Adam has the subject matter experience.
So when he's saying that the head of the PTA is going to be white, he's not just stereotyping about the Midwest.
No, I can stereotype about Indiana. I mean,
he does every day.
There's part of this is very true. It was very funny, this whole movie being set in Indiana, because I don't know I was trying to think about how many musicals are set in Indiana, and I couldn't. Gary Indiana is referenced in music.
Yeah.
Did it feel like New York types writing about a town that they didn't really actually know? Like, or did it feel
to some extent? Yes, there's a bit of the like, oh, the general heartland kind of narrative, but in defense of New York or whatever, a lot of the heartland is the same. Like, you can go to Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and you're going to get a pretty equivalent experience across multiple places in those states. So, like, I'm not saying that it's like not Hoosier specific or whatever, but I do think what is very strong about this story, and I originally was like, oh no, is it really just the New York liberals are right, and the people in the middle of the country are wrong? And because they have these characters who are like a mess, and like Barry and Dee Dee are like narcissists or whatever, that there's like enough in there that it's like, it doesn't feel like it's a comment on an entire region. It's just like because the story is so narrowly focused on this one instance of this one prom, like it doesn't feel like this like diatribe about like middle America, which is nice. Because like, while I agree, middle America has a lot of conservative issues. It's also very frustrating as someone who's from there when people love to do the like, oh, they're just flyover states. And it's like, people have full lives there, guys. Like,
well, and I think that the character of the principal really kind of saves that, because he is, he's this guy who appreciates art and is on Emma's side and is, and is actually the one that solves the problem initially. Like,
right. He's the one trying.
Clear to be like, we start off with the PTA meeting and he's like, I'm going to be bringing this as a civil rights issue. And like they're like solving the problem and dealing with it without the intervention of the Broadway stars. And like the Broadway people are basically only useful in paying for the third prom.
That's all they end up doing.
And also in kind of like talking Emma up a little bit to like get her to tell her story.
Yes.
And so I think that it's effective.
And teaching her about Zaz.
I think it's very effective in skewering those characters and skewering this sort of like, I mean, it's the whole first act is just making fun of them for their like extremely out of touch, misplaced efforts to like save this girl, assuming that like nobody here is supporting her, it was fun hijinks. And I think that I appreciated, as a former Midwestern liberal, formerly from the Midwest, also formerly liberal, as I did come out as a mega supporter.
Now she's
Trump 2028.
Yeah, she's a SoCal conservative, honey.
Yeah, a SoCal conservative. I really appreciated having a nuanced character who was from the same place and still understood. Tolerance.
He's able to be like, I'm still here because I do feel like I have a calling here that I want to like serve the people from here, but I also can see like going to Broadway, going to theater is my way of coping, so that way I feel inspired enough to like live my daily life of where I am.
And Emma's grandma takes her in when she gets kicked out. Like it's not this feeling of like everyone's against Emma. It's like, this is a town in conflict. Yeah.
I really liked when Mrs. Glickman comes, and she has, which is insane that it's Tracy Ullman, but
what a wig. Let me tell you, Tracy Ullman will only, just like Nicole Kidman, she read Nicole Kidman's writer and was like, oh, let me get in on that. I am only performing in movies if you put a wig on me.
Look up. I was like, I think that's Tracy Ullman, but I need to confirm that on Google.
I need to look closer.
Remind me, I have to send you the link to this sketch Tracy Ullman did where she pretended to be Dame Judi Dench, and she like goes into a pottery shop and like throws everything. She like smashes everying. And then she's like,
Judy.
Oh, I can't believe
nemesis
it.
Judy.
Molly would know. The evils that she did.
But I did like in that scene that I think there's some parts of this movie that I'm like, it's simplifying this so much and it's very frustrating. But
to
I like
to serve a purpose.
To serve a purpose, for sure. They're not going to condense the entirety of gay rights in America in a 2-hour musical. Shockingly,
no, that was Glee. That's what Glee did.
Correct, because it had 7 seasons to do so. I really liked when he was like, "Where's Dad?" and she's like, "He's not there yet." I really liked that addition of being like, I'm here, I'm reaching out. I know that he's not, like, it just felt like real, and I was glad that it wasn't like, and now we've both just come around even though you haven't talked to us in years.
Like the school kids who are like, oh my God. The Bible is a fallacy.
Pin the Bible number. Okay. I agree that I liked Tracy Ullman's part of that scene. Didn't love the Jim Gordon.
Yes, I liked half of that scene.
Monologue, that lovely monologue scene. Yeah.
But so we had to talk about, everyone's talking about Jamie in this. So this is sort of like this. We have the same, like we have a final prom where like everybody's dancing and it's like, which villains get to be redeemed and which don't. I felt like her being at the prom though, and him being like, I'm so excited for you to be my date, Mom. I was like, this is too much too fast. Like, I'm glad this scene is here. I also don't love that like Dee Dee basically like, surprises him with this. And he's like been very clear, like, I'm not interested in reconnecting with my parents. Yeah. But I was like, ooh, I liked that the scene was like complicated and he was rejecting her at first and they come to sort of a place, but like, I don't know, even like her being there, but like a more like, hesitant kind of like, maybe you're dancing, but there's kind of this feeling of like, but I'm not sure I can trust you. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like, Mom, you're my favorite date to the prom, blah, blah, blah. Like it felt like it went so fast with the healing.
This was the gay Fantasia like turned on, because it's the Hairspray ending where it's like everyone
realizes their mistakes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, halfway through this movie,
Mrs. Green also turns around, which is like she was the literal person canceling.
She was the literal person putting a stop to this.
Yeah.
There was something about this. I mean, I was watching this and I was like, oh, it's Hairspray but gay.
Yeah.
Which is
Hairspray.
Which is Hairspray already. But I was like, that's fine, because also like Hairspray also wraps up very neatly. And like the Broadway musical specifically, like the Von Tussles just are like, we're dancing now. Like we're part of the fun. Like, so
the dancing made us not racist anymore. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Like that is part of the charm of Hairspray. And I will admit that is like what is nice about seeing something so neatly wrapped up, even though we all are aware it's like not real. I think there's two things. Weirdly, because it's like a contemporary piece, like it's like very hard to be like, I think it's easier with Hairspray because it's like, oh, the 60s, like it's a different time. They figured it out. We wrote the civil rights bill and then we did the damn thing. And it's harder to do it when it's like contemporary because you're like, well, these are people that I know feel personally this way right now. And then also there is no what I think helps Hairspray in people being okay with the fact of it's just like neat ending is the what is that song called? There's a road we must travel. The gospel number. There's a light in the darkness.
The Queen Latifah number.
The Queen Latifah number.
Yeah.
Because we get that like very somber, serious tone of that like.
I know where I've been.
Because we get that song of like, we're striving for a better future and that's what we're all hoping for. You're allowed to have that ending because you've acknowledged that it is going to like be serious at some points. But I don't think there's like a moment. There's like little moments for individual characters, but there's no like en masse everybody comes together and acknowledges like the seriousness of whatever. And I'm not saying that like a girl going to prom with her girlfriend is on the same level of like Jim Crow in the South, right?
Yes.
I'm not equivocating those two things, but I think it would have been helpful to have like a serious, like more intense moment. And I think this is what they tried to do in a lighthearted version with the like Bible song.
Okay, yeah, we gotta talk about the Bible song.
People love the Bible song. The Letterboxd reviews are all Bible song pro.
I want to say you criticize that Anthony Randall is right there, but I think we know why he's in this. I'm sorry, Andrew. I don't know why I want to name Anthony. Anthony is there.
Tony Randall's.
Tony Randall
star of Book of Mormon. And Tony's talking to the kids, and so
Tony,
look. He's obviously famous for Book of Mormon. He's doing this gospel number. Like, this is the kind of stuff.
It is very much an elder song. Yeah.
It is an elder song. However, in the course of this song, he convinces 4 homophobic teens to stop being homophobic by giving them like 3 examples of ways that they're being hypocritical.
Yep.
Which is true. But
which is true. And as someone who's tried to have this conversation with people will never acknowledge that they are hypocrites. Yeah, like that's not how this works. It's not a good tactic.
And they completely flip around. They apologize to Emma for bullying her. They go to the inclusive prom at the end. They're like, they're at drag brunch. Like they're completely.
They're tipping Sasha Colby. It's a whole thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was like they made fun the whole time about like these silly Broadway liberals think they can just come here and tell people stuff. And then it's like, but he actually should just come here and tell people stuff because then they are going to listen to him.
And they make it at the end. Make him the drama teacher at the end.
Yeah.
I like the line of being like, you don't have a drama department. No wonder there's you have no empathy or whatever. I liked that because I was like, oh, that's true. Yeah. But I was like, that one was so neat that I was like, listen, the energy's great. I love the dance at the mall. I love setting a mall food court like number. A setting I think in a that's musical. Very fun.
Yeah.
What? This isn't. You're not convincing a teen anything. You're not convincing a teen.
I think that they could have had him convince one teen. I think he could have had this group of 4. And the like first girl who comes around, I think she could have gotten into it and had the rest of them be like, I'm not sure about this. And then maybe by the end they show up at the prom. And then you understand like, okay, she was the one that was the most kind of like had some questions about like, is this really right? And then she gets convinced and then maybe she talks to her friends and eventually she brings them around. Like that I could buy. But like to get all of them is, yeah.
I almost wish that it was like, and I don't know what, because I've never seen the original production. I know like some things are obviously changed for this. Like I know like the grandma and Barry's mom aren't in the show, in the stage version. They aren't characters. They were added for the
Interesting.
But I wonder, I was like, this would have been a great opportunity to, nobody knows it's Alyssa. Only they know it's Alyssa, or the two of them. The people who were Emma and Alyssa know it's Alyssa. So if Alyssa had been with them at the mall and he had been like included her, and then she had been able to be like, wait, now's my chance to like agree and try to persuade them. And then they tag team the song together.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like that could have been interesting, because then it's like another teen telling them. And it's also a chance for her to like get confidence of like, it's going to be okay.
To explain why she ends up being able to help tell the story of her eventually coming out. Yeah, because in the movie, we see that the two cheerleaders who are friends with Alyssa, that they have figured it out, and they're also kind of bullying Alyssa for it. But you could cut the idea of them figuring it out, that it's Alyssa, and just have it come through this song. And then I think that's a really smart idea. I
mean, they only set it up that way so that they can't tell Alyssa of what happened of the second prom. So then so then Emma doesn't know. But I think it could be more interesting that it all happens and she does know, and she still doesn't tell Emma because she's still so scared to come out. Like, I think that could still be interesting and like a valid, like a teen thing of being like, it
could just be like, my mom is the organizer of the prom and she just drove me to the prom. Like, I didn't realize, like, I feel like you could have a pretty good excuse still that she doesn't, you don't need the friends to be lying necessarily. Yeah.
Well, let's go back. Okay.
Well, let's listen. We keep talking about this Bible song and everyone is,
we gotta,
your mother is like, what Bible musical?
I think my mom has seen this actually.
Oh, really?
I think she's told me she had.
When you're lost, it always helps recalling those immortal words that Jesus said. There's one rule that trumps them all. Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor trumps them all. Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor trumps them all.
Listen, it's a great song.
You know, it is their sit down, you're rocking the boat. Why they chose the word trumps, I really wish that they would maybe do some edits on that one. I feel like there are some synonyms we could just slip in there potentially.
Because you can't even like use you don't only think about it, but like now you definitely do think about it. Yeah.
It's hard to just totally tune that out. I also think that this is maybe a song that works better on stage. That what we're complaining about of the idea of turning the teens like might work better if they've been more of caricature villains on stage and not people that we've seen up close in the way that you do in a film.
Right.
You know? So I'll give them some potentially this is just the adaptation's fault leeway on this part of it.
Yeah. So that's the song. That's the T on the song.
It's a good song.
Okay. So I want to talk about, we have to talk about Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Is she redeemed in my eyes? Is the question on the table.
From what? What did she do?
What did she do?
What did she need redemption from? Oh, come on.
The mother.
Grow up. Grow up, Molly.
Adam, you talk and then I'll say she's redeemed.
I think that when this started, she does not have the voice for this role, unfortunately. She needs like a full belt, and she sounds good, but it's not. I looked up Beth Level's It's Not About Me from the original production, and it's so I should just play it. I should just play it.
Play it.
Tell the people of whatever this town's called. I know what's going on here, and frankly, I'm appalled. I read 3/4 of a news story and knew I had to come. And unless I am doing the miracle worker,
The lyric of I googled I read three-quarters
of a news article. So good.
It's so. This is what I was like. Oh, okay. They're gonna do this with them.
Yeah. There was like the Broadway campiness of the actors really like they know exactly the references that they're going for. It's so specific and it just works because it's so like full on.
I wish that I could see this live now, seeing how much fun
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Okay, so then let's hear.
So let's watch Meryl, which I think she still does a good job. I mean, Meryl can.
Didn't save it for Molly. She's not vindicated.
She's not redeemed.
Look, I agree with RJ that my critique is not the voice. I actually think her voice is more suited for this role than it was to Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
I can't even say it. It's so odious to me. I can't even say it.
It's a national saying on Molly's.
Just my personal consciousness. I think that she has an over-the-topness she's bringing to the role that I think really works. I enjoyed her chewing of the scenery. She is too old for this role.
She's too old. She's so old. And then she gets with Keegan-Michael Key, and I was like, there's 30 years.
There's 30 years.
It's like 20, maybe 25.
But Gen Z hates that. They can't stand.
Here's the thing. I think that you could do it. But then you need like a line where somebody acknowledges the age difference is the thing to me.
Yeah.
Like it's not like impossible, but like no one comments on the fact that they're like, wow, he really likes you, even though like a little bit of a cougar, like something to acknowledge. He is 54 right now and she is 75. I mean,
I assumed he was like 40. I assumed he was like in his late
he
40s.
Kind of reads younger, I think, is part of the problem too. So probably they were like 50 and 70 when this was happened when they were filming. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird that it's not. It kind of works because she's supposed to be like this kind of long time Broadway star. She has 2 Tonys, so like you understand she's had a long career and everything. But it's just weird that nobody acknowledges her age.
It reads Sunset Boulevard. It reads like he is like so much younger.
It doesn't read that. He doesn't read that much younger. Let's calm down.
But it does feel like she's from a different era because like the way she talks about her ex-husband or whatever, like it feels like she was like an Elaine Stritch type. And like
she looks 70. She looks her age. And like Meryl looks
great.
And Meryl looks great. She looks like a star. Yeah.
She looks like a 70-year-old.
Yeah.
And she's hustling around that set. And she looks like she's Meryl
Streep looks great.
This is an insane thing for me to be
Showgays raves.
Showgays raves. Meryl's a great actress. Like, obviously, Meryl's incredible. Like, she's one of our greatest living actresses. I can't say anything new. My favorite thing about Meryl Streep, and this has also been talked to death about from other people since the dawn of millennia.
Our peers.
Like, I love the way Meryl will read a line unlike anyone else would ever deliver a line. Like the way she delivers is so uniquely Meryl Streep, but it still feels like real people talk and it doesn't feel like a delivery. Like it's just like everything is so off the cuff. That's why all of her jokes are so funny because they're so understated. But I was like, why are you so old?
Here's the other thing I found perplexing, and I don't know if it was the writing or the acting, is her. So as Adam referenced, we kind of see all 4 of the stars, the Broadway stars, kind of turn at different points of like really caring about the cause. And her turn comes last, her full turn. The principal is feeling very betrayed because he finds out they came here just for PR and everything. And then he references how he wanted her to be like this character that she had played in the first show that won her a Tony, who comes and like please with this guy who's going to like cut her from the circus, I think, with a lot of humility. And then, so she kind of proves to him that she cares and makes it up to him by performing this number. And his point is like, I wanted to see that like vulnerability and humility that I saw in that character. And that song to me does not have a lot of vulnerability and humility.
Oh, and the woman forgets or whatever.
The lady improves. The lady is improving.
The lady's improving.
The lady's improving.
Yeah.
Which is that's a great fake musical number title. That's good.
Yeah.
I can see that in any Fosse. Yeah. I just felt like this number, she was like oozing confidence. And I was like, that's not the point of this song, I feel like. And I was confused if it was the performance or if it was like the way the music is intended to be done in the show as written. I'm confused by it.
I ended up interpreting it as that she was giving him a private a Didi Allen performance that like ignites the fanboy more than anything, rather than kind of like,
I think they kind of say that after, but he like, they set up the song as supposed to be about her humility.
Yeah. Adam did not like this.
I did not like the plot line. I did not like any of when we had to like leave the main plot to go deal with each of their traumas or whatever. I was like, I wish this took less time in this movie.
There is something about, something about her character finding a second love. I love that. I like that. I think that could be a story that
yes,
we do
because
more.
Again, I think like it's very similar to her Miranda Priestley thing where it feels like you get that moment where she's watching the like her ex-husband's talk show and you see her in the privacy of her own bedroom in a flashback. And like you get that kind of, she's really good at delivering that kind of like intimate vulnerability of like a moment alone by yourself, how alone that can feel.
Yes.
And like, because I liked that moment.
Yeah.
And it did remind me of that scene in Devil Wears Prada, but I didn't care enough. I think really the problem is like his initial song, which is like, what is
Straights Love Theater 2.
Yeah, Straight People Love Theater 2 or whatever the fuck it's called, was so fucking bad that I was like, well, I'm out. I can't be interested in this at all because I think this song is an atrocity.
Good. Yeah, it's not very good.
It was
This is a national stain on this musical.
It was odd that they had made so much fun of the stars for believing what they're doing is so important. And then we have, I guess I see what they're doing. And then they have a number of
someone does believe.
Important.
Yeah.
And yes, but like, isn't the whole point supposed to be that they've been taking that too seriously? So like, I feel like the timing feels odd I feel like almost it should be, what should happen. Oh my God, let me dramaturg this thing. What should happen is one of the stars loses faith in their ability to help. But he sees that they really could, it should be the moment when Emma really needs to go up and tell her story, which is the thing that the actors and performers should be good at getting her to do. And he needs to motivate them to say like, no, this is where you really can contribute. And then he should do that. But instead it's like on a date with her. And it's like not a moment where she needs to.
I did like Apples and Bees. I loved Apples and Bees.
That's cute.
Yeah. Would it have been any different if like Emma was a Broadway fan? Like if it was someone that was like,
or Emma doing it would be.
I just think the problem is like some of the stuff is like, I understand that all of these characters have their own journey, but not everyone needs to be the protagonist of this musical. So like my issue was I was like, not everybody needs to learn a lesson. Like I it's nice that like Dee Dee and Barry and like whatever learn, but I don't think we don't need to give it as much focused time and attention. I feel like all of this should still end up leaning back to Emma. Yeah, and some of these things are just like, they're cul-de-sacs where we just like go around the circle and come back.
Emma is a stagnant character. And that's kind of what I was talking about before. That she's like too perfect. So she's the main character, but she's not the protagonist because she doesn't really have a change. I mean, she does mid-story because she gets so knocked down by the prom trick and then she needs to be built back up. But it's like 15 minutes of her needing to like get her gumption back and then she's back with her gumption. Like and there's just no real.
She was Zaz. She just learned Zaz and she was back.
She just learned Zaz. We have to talk about.
Okay.
Talk about
oh my God.
Does everyone have like a big like miscast? Because it feels to me my glaring one was Nicole Kidman. It did feel like she does a great job. Obviously, like she performs this, but
did you see her quote this week?
Mm-mm.
She was
this week. She's talking about this movie.
No, not for this. But she was in an article and she was saying like, I'm not I am not a movie star. I am not. People do not cast me because I'm a movie star. People cast me because I'm a character actress. Like my job is to bring a character to life. If I was cast as a movie star, all I'm going to do is just play myself. And I will say, in Nicole's defense, I think a lot of projects she takes on are like not necessarily her per se.
Yes, they're not her.
I don't think that's always what it is.
I think I think the
character actress, though,
character actress is a different connotation.
Actress, yes. Character actress. Also, you're a movie star. Sorry,
yes, she is a movie star, but she is hired as an actress. Like she is like a very, very competent, like one of our best actresses. I did feel like this role just feels a little too big for her. I was like, this could be like
the role feels too big, or she feels
too big for this role.
Oh,
and I was like, this could be I don't know. This could. I don't believe you.
Period.
You don't. I don't believe that you are someone that could never. That you've been a chorus girl for 40 years or whatever.
Well, again, like this is the same issue as Dee Dee. Like you're 60 years old.
Yeah.
See, I thought that worked though for her. The idea that she's 60 years old and still in the chorus is like pretty funny to me. I also really appreciated it because I feel like Nicole Kidman is a renowned awkward dancer, and I felt like she really brought it to this role. She really knew how to dance. And I don't feel like I've ever seen her know how to dance before. Did you guys watch The Perfect Couple? Okay. Firstly, it's amazing. And secondly, it's like the intro credits are like done over a shot of everybody like doing a dance together. And Nicole Kidman is like constantly just like a half beat behind everybody else. Like in the most fabulous way. She just like only kind of knows the moves and it's just like, and doing like the weird clap. And like, it's just so good.
Yes.
Very like Anne Margaret kind of.
Yeah. It's a lot of being like, yes. And you are dancing because I'm not. And so I just couldn't believe that she had the jazz hands, you know? I was appreciating it.
I couldn't believe we were getting a full Fosse, like a little explanatory Fosse.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Stop. Okay, this has gone on too far. This entire scene is shot from the waist up. We see nobody's legs in this entire number. They're behind a banister the whole time. It's insane. I'm asking too much about a song attributed to Fosse?
Yes.
Yes, you
are.
This is why she should not have been cast in this role.
I want her here.
No, wrong. This is why she is miscast. I want someone who is, you know who I want? Do you know genuinely who I want? Do you remember that TikTok girl who is the like old theater lady Barbara?
Yeah, she's like the hop, skip, and jump. Yes.
Wait, I'm gonna show.
Okay, please show it to me. I don't know this. I don't have TikTok because I'm so enlightened.
She's the one who does the different dances.
Oh, hello. You know, people always ask me, Barbara, can you teach me how to hoof it like a real Broadway legend? And then they ask, is that your car out front? Because you forgot to put it in park, and also you left the keys in the ignition. And I always answer, how and where I park my car is my business. And if you want to learn to dance like an all-timer, there's just one person to emulate. Me. Teaching you the repertoire of one Robert Bob Fosse. So dust off your bowler hats, gang. School's in session.
What if it was Kristen Wiig?
Well, that was the thing. Like, I could have seen a Kristen Chenoweth, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just like
Kristen Chenoweth could have been any of these roles. She could have been Emma. She would have ate.
Kristen Chenoweth could have been.
I would have had the same complaint.
Barry's mom.
Like Dee Dee and Emma were the same age for some reason. That's so weird. I mean, she has a very similar energy to when Gwyneth was on Glee.
Yes.
That was very much the vibe that I got from Nicole.
Molly's like, Gwyneth Paltrow was on Glee.
It took me a moment to remember which Gwyneth. Okay.
Where she's like game. She's game for it. I think like weirdly, people want to work with Ryan. Weirdly, people want to work with Ryan Murphy.
I think she brought I bought her like perpetual optimism. I don't know. I just watched Baby Girl and I liked it. Maybe I just was excited to see Nicole.
I think, and you're like, I want Nicole in everything.
Yeah, exactly. I want a little Nicole sauce on everything I'm eating. She's an opposite James Corden for me. I can never have too much Nicole.
Yeah,
you know?
I think she's good. Yeah. I don't think she's like a bad part of the movie, and I don't think it's enough that distract. It's more that I just kept being like, why did she sign on?
Why did she say yes?
Like, she has one song, and
so
then
basically,
she has no lines in this movie. It's crazy.
You liked Tony Reynolds, and you liked
Tony
Reynolds,
and you liked Emma, and those were the only two people you thought were appropriately cast in this.
I mean, I thought Ariana DeVos was also pretty good.
I don't think Andrew Reynolds was appropriately. I thought he was good,
Really?
but I was like, he probably should have been Mr. Gay.
And he doesn't get to do the Down Your Rock in the Boat number. Did you like Keegan-Michael Key?
Get Hunter Foster to do it then.
I did like Keegan-Michael Key. I just don't know if this...
He was too young. Either he needed to age up or Meryl needed to age down.
Oh my God.
I don't think he's bad. I don't think his song is good. But I don't know if that's a him problem or that's
in the
song
DD role. Then would you like Keegan-Michael Key in this?
Sure.
Yeah. It does feel like the cast...
I liked how genuinely sweet he was.
It feels like the cast was separate from the, like, who can tell the best story.
And I don't think Kerry Washington was cast appropriately either.
I do. I don't have as much of an issue with any of the individual casting, but I do feel like the casting makes you feel like it's like a different person was charged with casting each of these roles, and they weren't allowed to talk to each other until after the contracts were signed.
It was like a game where it's like, okay, let's reveal who's in the behind the door.
Or it was like a game of Plinko, and then wherever the thing ended up is whoever they cast for which role.
Let's hear a little Zaz, Adam. I need to know more about Zaz.
We gotta know about Zaz.
And if folks say you can't win, what'll stop them in a hurry? Give it some Zaz. There's no contest for a girl who has some razzmatazz. So call that bluff and strut your stuff like no chick in this hick town has. Instead of giving up, oh, give it some Zaz.
I do like there were so many Letterboxd reviews that were like, this is how I know this was not made by no lesbians took part in making this, because if that little girl had Nicole Kidman shaking her legs at her, she'd be like, oh God, auga, auga.
Very true. Very true. Look, it's fun.
I do like that they kind of develop a connection in this song that like she's like Angie's supposed to be the normal girl.
We've watched 5 Meryl Streeps because she was in Mary Poppins Returns. Oh. Sorry.
Wow. She's supposed to be like, I'm just a normal girl that like Broadway is my work or whatever, because I'm just a chorus girl or whatever. And I think my miscast feels like because Nicole Kidman is such a star that I'm like, it's hard to kind of picture as like, I'm just a girl like you. I
don't know. I just think like, because I don't know if you guys know this, but the acting world is competitive. I can see, yeah, I can see an alternative universe where like, this is Nicole Kidman.
Adam just turned off Molly's camera.
Sorry, I was disinvited from the podcast momentarily. Like, I feel like Nicole Kidman could be the forever chorus girl because, like, yes, she's such a star, but like fate could have turned another way for her. I guess is where
But this is where the question of like how much do you allow your audience? Do you think that they can like separate? Especially when it's a movie about like stardom to some extent, it's about people who are playing like heightened versions of Broadway stars. Like it could have been a great opportunity to just get a Broadway person like Andrew Reynolds. Like nobody knows him pretty much outside of like the theater community, unless they're the new normal fans. But like this could have been another opportunity for someone to like do. Like have another Broadway person, so it just feels a little more authentic.
More actual Broadway people in it. I can absolutely see that.
Yeah, it's not my biggest complaint about this movie by far.
I did love
it's just the question that I had the whole time.
Yeah, I do love that at the end she gets the call that she finally gets to go on as Roxy, and then she's like, and they're like, "What'd you tell him?" And she's like, "I told him I have a prom to get to. No, I'm on a red eye tonight, but I am going to stay here and party." Like,
I'll do the final number, but yes.
Yeah.
Zaz.
Let me go back to my little notes.
Give me some Zaz.
Okay, so we did talk about Keegan-Michael Key. I have to play the song that he sings.
Straight people have feelings too.
Straight people have feelings too, or whatever.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because,
we look to you to
take us away from the soul-crushing jobs and emasculating pay. When our lives come up short and our hopes are sad and few, you whisk us off to someplace strange and new.
Listening to it up close now, it does kind of feel like New York people writing about, see, we are doing important work.
That's the weird thing. You know that they're Broadway people that wrote this.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, even the joke of like emasculating pay doesn't really land because he's singing about theater. Which is more emasculating, sweetheart, your pay or your love for the arts? FAG.
Oh my God.
God, Adam.
Adam.
And I can say that, Molly, and you can't, okay?
True.
Oh, darn.
Oh, damn. I'm fine. Fine. Whatever. Who cares?
It's not the best song. We agree.
Here's what I did like about this.
Tell me.
Emma. I liked that this is a contemporary musical that does not sound like they keep the contemporary musical theater sound to Emma and Alyssa.
Yeah.
Their songs have that sound because they're the young characters. The Broadway people all sound like Broadway songs, which I really liked. I like that they're
the opening number. I really liked it.
For Eleanor.
Yes. That I was like, oh, this is like
that's really funny. That
all in.
Eleanor. They recreated like Times Square. They recreated Times Square. They weren't allowed to shoot in Times Square, and so they like made a set of like the theaters or whatever.
Yeah.
For that opening sequence, which I thought is cool.
That's how I knew it was a gay Fantasia, because it was like, what balcony overlooking Sardi's are we? What secret room in Sardi's is this?
Right.
I agree. I just love variety, like sonic variety in a musical, right? Mm-hmm. There is one very contemporary musical theater thing that I want to officially take a stance against on this podcast.
Yay!
You may write it down and you may send me future emails in case I'm ever inconsistent. I'm sure that Lucas will catch me. I am officially over monochromatic saturated costumes in contemporary musicals.
Molly,
it's always
can I say what drove me crazy about this movie?
Yeah.
The prom dresses are not prom dresses. And I understand they have to
dancing,
listen,
whatever.
I understand. But a prom dress is a extremely specific garment. It's like a quinceañera dress. Like you have an image in your mind as soon as I say that of what that looks like. Mm-hmm. These are all
cocktail dress,
midwinter dresses, homecoming dance dresses, even like, you know, a semi-formal. Okay. I just was so upset this whole time, and I get it, but I was going to be remiss if I did not call that out.
Yeah. What number are you specifically thinking of the like monochromatic outfits?
All of them. I'm thinking.
Is it like the teens?
The beginning number where we are introduced to the 4 Broadway characters. They're all in like their own color with the sparkles or whatever. I feel like throughout, especially the Broadway characters have like all of their outfits are like monochromatic colors. The which crashes PTA meeting, they're all in variations of red. Like it's all this like mid-tone saturated, not like deep enough for a jewel tone or pastel. It's like this one colored family. That's like, oh, it's always this. It's what it was in La La Land. It's what it is. I feel like in not Dear Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen was just blues everywhere. But like, I feel like I can think of other musicals where it's been like this of like, and this character is the canary yellow, and this character is the fire engine red, and it's like almost primary colors. I'm just over it. I just feel like this is what we've been doing for a while, and we need to move into a new color story.
Yeah, I think it's also a Ryan Murphy issue because I think he really loves that kind of like a character has a color, and that's the color you'll see them most often in. I mean, the insanity in Glee is that the cheerleaders wear their cheer costumes every day to school.
Hey, Adam, how much do we have to talk about Glee?
I won't ever stop talking about it
until it is scrubbed from his memory, but it can't, because it truly is what it was so defining for him.
Could we just dial it down like 10% maybe? Would that be an option?
You know, that's funny you mentioned this because this exactly happened.
This happened to Kurt on Glee. They told him to dial it back. and it was homophobic, Molly. So way to lean into your SoCal conservatism. Anyway, I'm going to play Just Breathe.
Note to self, don't be gay in Indiana. Big heads up, that's a really stupid plan. There are places where it's in to be out, maybe San Francisco or thereabout. But in Indiana, without a doubt, if you're not straight, then guess what's bound to hit the fan? Just breathe, Emma. Not everyone is that repressed. Just breathe, Emma. It wouldn't be high school without a test. Just close your eyes and count to 10. Go to your happy place and then try not to combust. Just breathe.
This reminded me the most of like the Mean Girl songs of like.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, what is her name? Katie. It like reminded me of that Katie song.
I will say, I think that this actress does a really great job of playing a teenager in a way that's not like grating, but is believable. And my only problem with Ariana DeBose, and maybe it's partially just that I've seen her in too many other roles, was that I had trouble buying her as a teenager. I actually looked up the age of both actresses because I was like, is this like weird that they're a couple? But like, at least now, Joe Ellen is 29 and Ariana is 34. So it's like a very...
That's crazy that they we're still in their like late 20s. Ariana was 30?
Ariana is now 34. So
yeah, she's like 29.
29. Wow. But yeah, I just felt like she seemed so much more like an adult in a way that was hard for me to kind of forget about. Yeah.
But this is like her insane run because Hamilton came out on Netflix, on Disney Plus in 2020. The Prom comes out, and then the next year is when West Side comes out, and she wins an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's also in Schmigadoon at the same time. Yeah. I don't love the sound, but I did like that they specifically kept it to contained. Those characters.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I think she's like has a really lovely voice. I was trying to think of like what could we do with this character to make her a little less perfect. But it's hard. I mean, like
it's hard because I think there is something about her being just completely average that like the Broadway people feel called to be like a person that's just trying, like she's undeserving of like this attention that is put on her forcibly. I do think it's interesting that they talk about like, there is a thing of like, well, you have to speak out, you have to tell your story. And I don't know if it's just because of the time of like Trump presidency of like being able to speak out and like you have the voice, like use it. But I also know that there are people who are like, if I'm not called to be an activist, I just want to go to prom. Like there's also a validity in that I was curious if they were going to dig in deeper, but she does make the change. She does kind of like, it is in her own terms, but it's not as...
I feel like they also could have made her more of a reluctant hero so that then the turn when she does get convinced to really tell her story, it could have been that like from the beginning, she was like, oh my God, I don't want this to be a lawsuit. I don't want like that could have been. And then that's not really like a flaw. Like that's totally fair to be like, I'm 17. I don't want to be a national news story. I don't want to be It could have been more, we could have leaned into that more to give her some more dynamic range as a character.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Or maybe just wallflower her more. It's just hard to make that your main character.
The story revolves around.
Because she's such a straight man in this. Everyone else has to bounce off of her.
Yeah. And we do have to buy that she like asked to bring her date, and we know that the date is closeted. So it's not like, you can't be like, oh, she just like happened to ask and like didn't intend for any of this. Like you kind of need her to be a little bit of a rabble rouser for her to have started this in the first place, right? So it's weird. Yeah. I think Jo Ellen, she does a really good job though with this performance. Totally. I like her a lot. Okay. Since we talked about Ariana, I'll just play a little bit of her performance of her song called Alyssa Green.
Her titular song.
The hair has to be perfect. The A's have to be straight. You have to join the debate. Clap on that, there's no debate. You'll have Bible camp each summer to keep you pure and clean. Endless rules apply when you're Alyssa Green.
And her voice too sounds so much more mature than
Emma's.
I mean, there's a reason why she played Anita. Like, she reads so much older than she actually is.
Yeah.
She just has like she's like a gravitas.
Yeah.
I think she's good in this. I think that is the thing. She's good in it, but I think that she seems too grounded to be like scared to come out to her mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
My woman king.
I'm trying to think of what else I have to say.
I will say my thing about contemporary movie musical specifically that I will take a stance on is that there are too much stepping in chorus numbers. Like all of a sudden when they erupt in a chorus number, it becomes like a step, like boom, 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 boom. It's so percussive that I'm like, they do it like twice here. Like they do it in the big
against Black culture, RJ.
Oh my God. It feels just overused. In my opinion, it's like, why does every number have a little step number? Like just a little Hamilton nod. Is the Hamilton it's almost becoming like a little like a Fosse. Like it's like we have to reference a little.
It's hard to not be influenced by Hamilton.
I mean, you can track the kind of musical choreography by by era. By who the
because post Hamilton everything has that element now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Fosse for years.
Yeah. But it's also Fosse in this. Yeah.
It just feels like it's like a Netflix musical specifically. I'm like, here's the Matilda step number.
I think it's more
the Netflix step number.
I think it's more that I hate how they film group numbers. I just feel like they're always like up so close to them that we never get wide shots of like the interesting choreo en masse, which is what's so impactful seeing it on stage is like seeing a group of bodies dance in the same formation. And because especially Ryan Murphy has this issue, it came up in Glee, but like he loves to have constant. She's leaving.
She's walking away. Molly just walked away. She just walked out of the door. Oh my God. One step at a time.
Is it over?
Is it over?
He has this issue where he'll just film things and the camera is just constantly in motion. Like there is no still moment in when any song is happening, there is constant camera movement. Yeah. And I understand the dynamism of it and I understand why he does it, but you need that so then you can have the moments where you don't move and he just doesn't do the other half. So that I constantly feel like I'm seasick.
I'm watching a Subway Surfer video on TikTok. Yes. Like slime being cut.
I'm watching a Minecraft run
while someone's talking to me.
Yeah. I think that's like my big issue with the choreo. It's just like I would like to just place the camera still for a second.
Show me the pajama game.
Watch the cool part of it.
Yeah, show me the pajama game fair where they're out in the park and we're just watching people dance.
I think that's all I'm going to talk about with this. I think we've really covered.
We do get a big number at the end. So Molly, there you go.
I'm happy with that.
Okay. Good.
It's time to dance. I just wanna dance with you. It's time to dance. I just wanna dance with you. It's time to dance.
So, on Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 54% rating. Owen Gleiberman for Variety wrote, "The Prom is very much a movie about the two Americas, and part of its luster is that it portrays the conservative Midwestern one with dignity, even as it attacks the impulses of bigotry. Regarding the issue of intolerance, the film gives no quarter, but it does separate the sinner from the sin. Jo Ellen Pellman, who sings in a lilting soprano, endows Emma with a tremulous radiance, a desire to be herself that's defiantly unpolitical, and in a funny way, it makes the movie it makes the movie unpolitical. She and Alyssa, who is Mrs. Green's daughter, aren't fighting for the right to attend a high school dance. The movie takes that right for granted. They're fighting for the right to love and be loved like anyone else. The timing of the prom feels karmically right because it's about the two Americas coming together. Whatever the film's fate, just another movie on Netflix or Oscar contender, I'd believe either one. That's a story worth telling and one that we need to hear.
Oscar contender?
Molly's face.
This is
in
his
category.
His review is like glowing. Like he's like, wow. James Corden's incredible in this. It's crazy to read.
Oh wow.
So let me read portions of Richard Lawson's review from Variety. Or I'm sorry, from Vanity Fair.
We like Richard.
I like Richard a lot. He's a gay critic. This is going to be a little long, but I felt like he said a lot that I agreed with. There's a nuance that precludes any hard and fast rule about who should play gay men on screen. In general, yes, I wish more gay actors got the chance to tell our stories, embody our people, rather than straight men getting accolades for being brave or cheers for being sassy. It doesn't bother me, though, in any grandly absolute way. I know it's bad when it's bad, but otherwise, I'm not too fussed about it. Well, at least I wasn't. Then I watched The Prom, Ryan Murphy's film version of the recent Broadway musical, and I got mad all over again. The Prom is about a bunch of self-involved New York theater actors descending on an Indiana high school to protest a lesbian student being essentially barred from attending her prom. One of the actors is a grand old show queen, Barry Glickman. Is he supposed to be Jewish, by the way?
I think so. That's why I'm saying, like, have Harvey do this.
Isn't Glickman a Jewish last name?
It might be. I don't have to comment on that.
I'm just asking the crowd. I'm not asking any specific person. Good God. Jesus. A vain swish whose star is fading but still looms as a legend of the form. I'm thinking Nathan Lane if his star had ever actually faded. But in the film, he's not played by Lane, nor is he played by Brooks Ashmaskas, the out gay theater mainstay who played the role in the Broadway production and received a Tony nomination for his troubles. Barry is instead played by talk show host and occasional actor James Corden, most recently seen on the big screen in Cats. Corden, who is straight, is so bad in The Prom, somehow both appalling and terminally bland, that it had me thinking maybe the hardliners were right all along. Forget the whole case-by-case thing. No more straight actors playing gay men until the sins of The Prom are properly atoned for. Murphy, a gay man, has led some straight actors into fertile gay territory before, like Darren Criss in The Assassination of Gianni Versace. But Corden, flitting and lisping around in the most uninspired of caricatures, misses all potential for nuance and thus never finds even a hint of truth in the role. And this is in a movie that's supposed to be about empowering queer people. Mm-hmm. Further on, he says, otherwise, The Prom is staged in confusing, frustrating ways. Murphy shoots in a color palette ranging from gay discotheque at 11 p.m. on a Thursday to third period physics class, none of which inspires much wonder in any given scene. During a musical number that's a slavish homage to Bob Fosse, Murphy barely even shows the two characters' legs or feet, let alone their whole bodies in glorious motion. Instead, he films
all of his opinions from these reviews and we won't find out until the end. Yeah.
Instead, he films them mostly from the shoulders up, somewhere Gwen Verdon is screaming. Murphy doesn't seem to have any true interest in or understanding of what people actually like about musicals. The Prom is a shellacked lump of Hollywood product, all canned fabulousness, including Corden's noxious mugging, and none of the difficult, awe-inspiring technicality that makes musical performance truly snap and sing with theater's scrappy magic. And finally, he concludes with, the core message at the heart of The Prom are nice. Gay acceptance, celebrating difference, loving their neighbor, having a good time in the face of those who would tell you to do otherwise. There's little sincerity to the way Murphy's film presents those things, though. They're marketing talking points rather than actual ideas made thoughtfully manifest in the texture of the film. And they're undercut by Corden's hack job, which contextualizes it all as cynical smarm more than earnest and necessary messaging. Those looking for a little musical booster shot here in our theaterless times could, I suppose, do worse than The Prom, but it would probably be more fun and more satisfying to just put on the original Broadway soundtrack and dance around in your bedroom, plenty safe from any outside interference.
I think he's right. I mean, I don't have the same level of contempt for the overall performance from Corden, but overall, I think he's right.
Yeah.
The Prom from the People has 2.3 stars on Letterboxd. And I have some reviews here. Le Petit Prince gave it 1 star and says, this feels so gay and homophobic at the same time. Chris Fail gave it 1.5 stars and said, James Corden guillotine. Hannah gave it 2.5 stars and said, if Baz Luhrmann was a student film.
Like that it's not if there was a Baz Luhrmann student film. If Baz Luhrmann, the man, was a student film.
Yes, correct. Lawrence gave it 3 stars and said, okay, but only if I don't have to share a single scene with James Corden, allegedly Kerry Washington accepting her role in this probably. And then finally, Ashton gave it 2 stars and said, maybe the real American Horror Stories were the proms we made along the way.
That's a good joke.
Anybody that uses that joke format, I always put it in because it's so funny. And finally, we come to the question, who is your MVP? Molly, I will let you go first.
Even though we didn't like his number, I'm giving it to Keegan-Michael Key for continuing to be a solid alum and a lover of musical theater. And I like his presence on screen. Great.
Yeah.
I agree.
He's keeping the legacy alive, I think.
Yes.
He's keeping the legacy alive.
I can see a performance coming soon in a movie musical from him that could, like, kind of gives like Ariana
get a nomination.
Maybe a nomination, but just like some acclaim that like he will officially be claimed as like the modern movie musical like Renaissance man is back.
I think I have to keep giving it to him because I feel like he's not being claimed, and we need the
culture to catch up.
Yeah.
RJ.
Oh. I will say I did watch this in a plane. I don't think if I mentioned that, and that did feel like the appropriate. This is a good plane movie, I would say. I know we said she was too old, but I am going to give it to Meryl. I do think she does a good performance in this kind of like aging diva, kind of going for one aging diva that is able to still like find like a change of heart. But it's not like she was mean or anything, but just has a softening of a heart that makes her realize that there's more to life than like, you know, what she feels like is so dreadful about hers, which I really appreciate. And I think this character is just really well written. I love, you know, a gay man loves an old woman character, like diva kind of stock character. And I think she does a really good job. And yeah. My other one would probably be the book. Like, truly, this is like one of the funniest books that I've seen in a musical. And musicals famously, the book is always one of the hardest things to kind of get right. Just because I think sometimes contemporary musicals, they feel like it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to carry enough of a structure to carry the song. Yeah. And I think here, like, even though not all of the music is great, but they're not terrible, but I think the jokes and the balance of the absurdity of Broadway people coming to Indiana being balanced by like the heartfelt moments, I feel like really worked from like a story perspective and like dialogue perspective.
I'll take Jo Ellen. Is that her name?
Jo Ellen, yeah.
Jo Ellen Pellman. I thought she was wonderful in this, and I liked her a lot. And
I wonder what else she's done. Let me check.
She's done one other thing in 2023. I don't remember what it was. But I thought she was good. I liked her a lot.
Great.
I would say my last note is and this is less movie specific, but more genre specific, is like, I'm starting to get, it's not this because of the plot, this is going to do this, so it's fine. But I'm starting to get fatigued of contemporary comedic musicals referencing musicals.
Yeah.
It's starting to get a little like you're all just referencing and no one's making the new original content to then reference at a later point. Like,
I think musicals have had a long referencing themselves trend, and I think we need a little break from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my big note. Okay. Molly, what's your closer?
I have a closer that's so prepared that I'm going to share my screen.
Holy hell.
One of these stars, not the character that they play, the actual actor, is your date to prom.
Okay.
You will determine, we will click the wheel to spin it and see who your date will be. And then you have to pitch me your vision for the outfits that you were going to wear to prom.
Okay.
Oh, the outfits. Okay.
The outfits. A la James Corden's number.
Who's first?
Oh, RJ.
Oh. Well, Jo Ellen and I are going to prom. Let me see what Jo Ellen.
So while you think, we'll choose the next one.
Yeah, because let me see what Jo Ellen. Let me go on their Instagram and get Jo Ellen's vibe.
Okay. I'm going to remove her from the contest. Adam's turn. Wouldn't it be funny if they're all straight pairings? That would be so funny.
And it won't be.
It won't be.
It's not.
Oh no, I got James Corden.
Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Adam will be going with James Corden, and I will be attending the prom with...
Slay.
With Alyssa Green herself.
With Miss Alyssa Green, Ariana DeBose. Amazing.
Wow.
Okay.
A Walla Walla prom.
Walla great. RJ, have you thought about what you want to wear?
Yeah, Joe Ellen gives me like a nice Midwestern girl theater vibe. So I think she would be up for like a theme, like a full costume theme. Like we go as like a famous pair, like if they did prom. Like a pop culture reference that like, what would they have gone as if they went to prom? So like maybe like Daphne and Velma. What would their prom dresses look like? And I would be Velma.
not cosplay as just like Daphne and Velma as appearing in the cartoons, but like their prom outfits. Okay.
Yes, and the whole group would be like a Scooby's gang. Like we're all
What's
Scooby's
your prom theme?
It's probably nostalgia. Like it's probably like 90s, or even though this is not 90s, like Scooby's is not 90s, but maybe it's like something like that. It was like retro.
Okay.
But I think she would be down for like a full costumed affair. Adam, what would you and our lovely friend James Corden be going in prom?
Well, ours is going to be a classic prom theme. It's going to be prom under the stars. So we've got lots of stars hanging from the ceiling, lots of black and silver as the colors of prom. So we're going to do a black and gray is going to be our colors.
Okay.
So I'll be in a gray suit. He'll be in a black tux. And then I'll do, you know what? I'll source a matching brooch for each of us. A little lapel brooch mome. No, we don't need a boutonniere. I never liked boutonnieres anyway. We don't need a boutonniere, but we'll do a little pocket square. We'll arrive, obviously, not in a limo, but in an Escalade. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Chic and bougie. And we'll probably break up by the end of the night.
I don't think you're gonna make it through the limo ride, to be honest.
Probably not.
I think you're ditching him as soon as you get to prom. Like, oh, we didn't come together.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Molly.
I think Ariana and I are gonna go for a classic look. We're gonna do like a burgundy wine color scheme. Ooh. She's gonna do a strapless corseted dress with a long ruffled
fun
skirt with like a little bit of a train. And I will be wearing a burgundy pantsuit, like a longer jacket with like kind of wide lapels, and then cigarette pants.
Cute.
What are cigarette pants?
They're like
striped
not
pants?
skinny jeans, but they're like they don't sit totally flush to your your legs, but they taper in, and they're a little bit short.
Yes.
Yeah,
with some loafers.
They're usually like black. They're usually like the black and white, like checkered ones.
Yes, that is a common pattern for cigarette pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Cute.
Thanks. See, I prepared.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, listeners, for joining us on this prom journey. I hope your prom
was great.
Well.
Yes, because all of our teens that are listening.
All the teens.
It's prom season.
Prom was great.
Prom season might be over, to be honest.
Yeah. Where did you guys go to prom? Where did you go to dinner for prom?
I went to Carrabba's.
I went to California Pizza Kitchen, honey.
I went to like a fancy restaurant, but I cannot remember what it was called or anything about it. I'm sorry. I did. The guy that I took, he was so known for being like obsessed with chivalry that I like tried really hard to tell him that I was paying for dinner, because it was like, this is my prom and I have invited you. And then he like sneakily went and paid the waiter like before we even. Yeah.
Wow.
You can see why I wasn't dating him. Not really my style.
Not really my style. Are you a Dutch? What is it? Dutch treat?
I mean, Andrew and I we do every other instead of like splitting every single meal. But
nice.
But somebody who, when you've made it clear, like I actually really would like to treat you, and then doesn't listen to that, that's the part that I have an issue with.
Yes.
Did you have punch at your prom?
Probably. We had catering.
Did you have punch, Molly?
I don't think so.
We never had punch. The punch bowl at prom is such a common trope of prom. Stories.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and somebody's gonna spike the punch.
Yeah.
And we just had like bottled water.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. I think we just had like a canister of water with like little cups or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just curious. Okay. To thine own self be true. What was the song?
Are you singing
Love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor.
God.
Thank you for listening to Showgays, a Cinema Musical podcast. This episode was edited and mixed by Adam Noecker. This has been an Ampliverse production. You can find the Ampliverse on Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at the Ampliverse. Check out our full roster of shows at theampliverse.com. If you'd like to send us your own takes on the movie we just watched, reach out to us via email, and we might just read it aloud on the show. Our email is showgaysmoviemusical@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find the show. And now, as always, the show must go on, so stick around to hear what we'll be watching next episode.
I hate this town.
It's not that bad.
Try looking at it through my eyes.
I'm so proud of you, Timmy.
My name's Timothy.
Oh, Timothy. Timothy.
A Midsummer Night's Dream. Auditions are Friday.
I'm not an actor.
All the world's a stage.
We fairies that do run from the presence of the sun like a dream.
Nice pipes. Heard your audition.
I think he wants you.
I think he wants to kick my ass.
Good form. If you could make someone love you, would you?
I'll apply to your eye gently.
Oh, nasty.
How many people are in this town?
I've got people to change.
The mayor made the shocking announcement that Kingston would start issuing marriage licenses to any couple in love.
What about family values?
We have families, we have values.
Think of your friends, your family.
No!
I am not a lesbian.
I'm in love.
No, you're not.
Has everyone gone insane?
Oh, I rebuke you in the love yourself. Lay breath so bitter on your bitter foe. On your bitter foe.
Are you okay?
Were the world mine.